Hello, trading is closed on February 6th, 2018. Let's go over yesterday's calls. Based on a 32-day pattern, I was confident that in spite of appearances, this was a low to high day. Turns out that was wrong. This is clearly a pattern with the early high. That means this was an early high, and it means either the methodology I used failed or else I've read some of these charts wrong. In any event, tomorrow should have an early low. The other calls fared a bit more favorably than that one. We had a MEJT target. I thought it was completely out of reach and wouldn't print. We actually came much closer than I thought we would. In the overnight session, I think the low was about 25.29. These were targets from back in October that printed in the overnight session. That's relevant because we hit a low just under this price target, but the targets aren't really satisfied until they're seen in regular trading hours. These numbers we get to cross off the list, and even after 2 months, the market remembers these numbers are support resistance areas. There's a buy signal when these print on page 120 of my book. It doesn't specifically include optional targets, but I believe it works when that happens too, and it's a fairly reliable buy signal. Although it doesn't give a precise entry, it does tell you where support is. We have a new target, which we'll go over. It's 2619.84, most likely to print by early Thursday. That's my call. As always, if we gap up smartly, it's probably out of reach. This one gets added to the list. These get removed. Early on, we got an ultimate sell signal, and that worked. We also got another sell signal. The target hasn't been hit. That's the target. In the afternoon, we got an ultimate sell and an ultimate buy at the same pattern. Typically, it leads to wishy-washy trade with both lower and higher prices. Lower prices printed first. System marked them as false. We said that the high of the move is probably in, but that because we were under the lower Bollinger Band, and that we had support at one bar under the TDST line, that it probably at this point wasn't a good place to initiate a short position. Well, how about now? What did this rally accomplish? If I can click on the right one, I'll show you. Well, it's positive when you start out low, rally all day long. Usually it leads to higher prices, but it would be more convincing if we had gone over this high. It also would have been more convincing if the rally did anything besides rally up to Fibonacci resistance and stop right at that level. As far as I'm concerned, unless we gap up smartly tomorrow, we should see this by early Thursday. Huge volatility like this is a characteristic of markets that are topping out. I continue to believe it's topping out. We should see these before too long passes, and I think we're going lower than that in the intermediate to longer term, and that's today's call.